At long last, the Chris 1313 fuel system is here. We can finally get this thing installed and get it started up. Only thing I'm waiting on now is the fuel pump conversion kit from Vetwork that we have to weld in the ring for. But hopefully, as we're installing this, that stuff will come in and we can start the thing up. But yeah, so the kit comes with the 4th gen fuel pump module. The sender has a billet hat. This was custom built to fit the 2nd gen fuel tank. So if you haven't seen the other videos on the 81 yet, I suggest you go back and take a look at them. But for reference, we're converting a 2nd gen fuel tank to fit a 4th gen fuel pump module. Chris custom built this to height in order to drop into the 2nd gen fuel tank. We had to buy a conversion kit from Vetwork, which is basically a fuel tank ring, and then there's a second ring that goes on top to push so the fuel pump module sits in the first ring, and then the other ring goes on top to push the module down and hold it in place. So this is a twin 525 fuel pump setup. It comes with the fuel pump sender and all the connectors for a 4th gen, which we're going to convert to the 2nd gen. So it has the fuel pump and sender wire connectors built into it, and then it comes with the hot wire kit with the connectors built into it to connect to, and then comes with the sender that was again custom made to the height of the tank, and aeromotive fuel pressure regulator, and then fittings and 10 AN and 8 AN PTFE line, fuel filter, and then fittings for in case you want to change the size. But yeah, so I mean we have everything that we need except for the ring. So I'm gonna go ahead and start building the system, and hopefully by the time I'm done building the system, we have the ring, we can weld it in, drop this in, and actually start this thing up. All right, so temporarily I'm gonna drop this in the tank just so that we can mock everything up. So the tank, this goes towards the back, that goes towards the front. I mean, I could run it straight out the back. Take a look and see what makes the most sense here. Typically in the past when I've done these, it's always been either a fuel cell or the stock tank, and we are not generally putting in as much power or do not need as big of a fuel system. Usually when we do these cars, they're carbureted and you're running off like 7 to 8 psi, so it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to use the stock tank. Yeah, this may be actually easier to run like the 2nd gen would, where the metal lines come down here, down the tank, and then off to the side. We could just run them actually straight out of the back and run them up here and then run down the fuel rail, or run down the rail. Yeah, so I think we'll do that instead. We'll just position that forward. But in order to do that, I need to look at the sender and see what that looks like. I just need to make sure that if I do aim this forward, that the sender is not going to get in the way and hit a wall or hit something else down there. You're going to go like that. All right, so if you go forward, then you are going to aim back. I don't think there's anything back there. Yeah, no, I think we'll be okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. That'll work. All right, so we can do that. So when we welded this in place, unfortunately, I did not read the instructions. I assumed that there's 2 different rings that come with the kit. I was under the assumption that the hat sat on one of the rings and the other ring compressed down, which it kind of does, but the way, if you read the instructions, you're actually supposed to, before you weld this down, you're supposed to cut a 3.875 inch hole and then weld this ring on top of the hole, because this is actually the exact diameter of the outside of the fuel pump module hat. And so this will sit snugly in between the diameter of the ring, but it'll sit on top of that 3.875 inch hole, and then the other ring comes down, screws into this, and compresses it down. But it kind of worked out because it looks like the dimensions that I gave Chris were off by a little bit anyway, because this is bottoming out on the bottom of the tank right now, so socks are going to starve getting the fuel inside. So it does need to come up like a hair. What I did is I ordered another ring, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to weld a second ring on top of here, which will give this the clearance it needs, and I'm going to cut the ring out, and then this will just sit on top of that, and then we'll have the other ring compressed. So it'll kind of work, the problems will kind of work themselves out. But for now, I'm just going to leave this in here, laying in here, so that we can mock everything up. We'll go ahead and run the whole system, because I'm still waiting on the ring to get here, and then, at the very end, then we can just drop that in there. Let's get this thing up there and mock out all the lines. Okay, so luckily, just like we lined up, the fuel pump hat does sit in this recessed area. that the original line would have ran through. There is a little bit of room for the hat to be. We're still gonna have to build some kind of spacer there. All right, let's go ahead and make a 10. Alright, so now we got an 8 and 10, so we can go ahead and hook these up to the fuel pump module and start routing these. Alright, you're going to be here eventually. Well, that just magically went in the right spot. Okay, cool. Alright, next step is, where are we routing this? Yeah, there's plenty there. There's plenty there to do that with. I can't wait to hear what this thing sounds like with boom tubes. And there is no, there's no baffle, there's no muffler. This thing's gonna sound crazy. Now that we know the route, this is going to run, the 8's going to run straight up to the regulator because this is the return. The 10 is the feed. So the 10, we're going to run down here and put a filter down here somewhere. Usually you would put it in this pocket right here, but since we have the boom tubes there, it's going to be a problem. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. All right, that's fine. I can live with that. Okay, that's on wire in the fuel system. Let's do that real quick. So the Chris 1313 fuel system comes with the hot wire kit. So in the back, we're gonna put these relays and these grounds on the frame somewhere close to the fuel pump area. And then you got these that actually hook up to the fuel pump. I'm trying to remember, one of these I have to run, I think it's this one, the green trigger wire to, yeah, it doesn't matter, we'll figure that out later. And then we got this guy. So this is gonna hook up to the alternator in the front. So I'm just gonna throw this over here and route it up front with everything else. And then I'm gonna have to come back and actually strap this stuff down. And that's with the alternator wire on here? Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. No! Damn it! Oh, don't drop it. See, the problem is, when you drop shit over here near the alternator, there's a hole right here, and there's one on top. So little tiny things can fall in it. And since that didn't hit the ground, I would have to assume that that little guy has now fallen into the hole of doom. There is a way to get it out, but you can spend an hour digging for it. So we're gonna spend about 30 seconds trying. Wow, that's not even the bolt. That's a different bolt. Sometimes they fall. I was about to say, sometimes they fall where the brake line is on the back. They get trapped inside there. What was I thinking, man? Bring this alternator down here. Oh well, whatever. Who cares? Well, we are at that point. I mean, the only thing we have left is connect the feed and return line to the pump, connect the wire connectors to the pump, figure out where the green trigger wire goes from the holley, find a place to mount these to ground them out, which I have an idea, but I want to wait until all the connectors are hooked up and I know I have, you know, how much slack I have, because I'll probably end up having some excess I'm gonna have to put up here somewhere. Yeah, but that's it for that. And then the only other thing left is working out the deal with this pump. No, we got to hook up the water pump wiring harness, which takes, you know, 10 minutes. So, but yeah, that's it. All right, so I ended up having to cut out another ring because the one that comes with the kit is too thick. I don't know if you can see the difference or not in thickness, but I ended up having to cut out another one. Because what happens is, when you put it on, you can barely get a thread to start it. But anyway, so that's resolved. So we're gonna weld this ring on, and then it's just a matter of reassembly. So the way this thing works is you have, you know, your hot and your ground connectors, and then you have the sender wire connector, and then it comes out to the square, which is what you would have on an early 4th gen Trans Am fuel pump connector. Luckily, I do so many 4th gens that I have the male connector. So since we're putting this in a 2nd gen, there's nothing to connect this to. So you have to, you know, make a harness out of spades, I would imagine. Or, you know, luckily I have a 4th gen male connector because we do a bunch of these. So this will fit right in. I just need to wire up the sender to this and the lead to this, the green wire from the Terminator X. Yeah, I need to make a harness. Or spinning. I can't see the line. There we go. Whew. Not to break this little ABS plastic thing. Alright, so if you want to do anything at all with the Pro Dash, add any additional inputs than what comes on the connector, you're going to need this. This is a connector kit from Holley, part number is 570-344. And this is all it is. It comes with a connector, it comes with the leads, and it comes with the weather, I forget what they call them, the little covers. The weatherproof covers. If I remember correctly, it was the red, it was three down, 4 over was 21. Alright, so Pro Dash does come with a installation guide, but you can pull it up on your phone to make it easier. So when you're looking at the connector, you're looking actually at the back of this thing for reference. So it's going to be 3rd row from the top, and then 4 over is 21. Sure they're in. Looks like they are. Yeah, they ain't coming out. Okay. Where are you hitting now? Oh, hopefully that works, because otherwise, I'll set the car on fire. Everything is run. So now, let's do the wizard tune. I don't know where the little pin is. All right. Home. Wizards. Wizard. New ECU. Yes. Alright. PFI. Yes. GMLS. Yes. 8 cylinders. Cubic inches. We'll do that. Sure. Next. Engine displacement. 408. Come on, man. Are you serious? Why is this? Oh, I know why. It's because I'm not using the damn pen. It doesn't like your fingernail. 408. Target idle speed. We will say 900 to start. 225 to 260. Cam. 24 tooth. 60 psi. That's the other thing I gotta check. It's fuel pressure after this. Injectors are gonna be other and FIC 1000s. None. Oh, next. Stupid. Internal 1 bar. Drive-by-wire, no. GMLSX, transmission control, yes. 4L80, son. Next, tire diameter. We're making this up because we're going to be moving, changing tires. I'm going to put like 28. Rear end ratio, God. I don't know, it's like 323, I think it was. Automatically, yes. Scale tables. Start. Okay, it's uploading. Yes. Okay, finish. All right. Sure the computer's off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back on. Fuel pump's on. I can hear it. Wizard TPS auto set. Start. Next, TPS auto set was successful. Okay. Cool. So now it's ready to start. All right, moment of truth. Well, it runs. Well, it sounds amazing. Thanks to the Speedy's boom tubes. Damn. I think I left my flashlight in there. I keep doing that. Yeah. Well, I mean, these are Amazon transmission cooler lines. I've never used them before. It's extremely possible that they just suck. It runs. I mean, it runs. It sounds cool with the boom tubes. I like it. It's smoothed out. I thought there was a miss, but it went away. That was just part of the learn process, I guess. I got to fix these transmission cooler leaks. Probably have to adjust the IAC like you always do with these. Every one that I've done so far, you always end up having to adjust the throttle position and then redo the TPS auto start or auto set. But yeah, I mean, fans coming on, water pumps coming on, it has good oil pressure. It was at like 60 PSI. So yeah, at least it starts, it runs good. Get some little things that we got to do. Get some transmission fluid because it's all over the floor. Fix the leaks, clean the stuff up. And in the next video, we will drive it and break it in and see what it really sounds like. Till the next.